Hi, I'm Barry Stewart Mann. I'm a storyteller based in Atlanta, Georgia. But today I'm in Montevideo, Uruguay, and I'm celebrating the International Day for Tolerance here at the Monumento de la Diversidad Sexual, the monument to sexual diversity, perhaps the only one in the world. And the monument says, honrar la diversidad es honrar la vida. That means to honor diversity is to honor life. And what better message for the International Day for Tolerance? Because the International Day for Tolerance talks about tolerance in terms of world cultures, forms of expression, and different ways of being human. And of course, our sexuality, the way that we love, the way that we connect with other people is an essential form of our expression. But I'd also like to tell a story that might connect a little more with the different ways of being human. It's an old story that I found in an adaptation in a book called Zen Shorts by John Muth. And it's an adaptation of an old Buddhist or Zen tale. And it says that once there were two monks, an older monk and a younger monk. And they were out walking from one city to another, and they were going through the forest, and they came to a very fast rushing creek. And now by the side of the creek, there was a very tall, beautiful, noble woman standing there with a very angry look on her face. And so the older monk went to her and said, "Good day." And she said, "Good day? It's not a good day. I have to cross this creek, but I have my beautiful silk robes on. How will I get across? This is ridiculous." The monk put out his arms in a gesture as if to carry her, and she nodded. And so he lifted her up, wrapped her gowns around her legs, and very carefully walked into the rushing waters. Oh, he was immersed up to his hips, but he made sure that she did not get touched by a bit of the water. The younger monk followed, amazed, surprised. When they got to the other side, the older monk put the noble woman down. And then she smoothed out her gowns, she tossed her chin in the air, and without so much as a thank you, she walked off. The younger monk was appalled, amazed, aghast, but the older one just shrugged it off and started walking. They walked for a while. After perhaps an hour, they stopped, and the younger monk said, I still can't believe what happened back there. That woman, she was so rude, so impolite. You did her such a service, and she didn't even thank you. She didn't look at you. She didn't say anything. And how could you put up with that? And yet you seem to have forgotten the whole thing. The older monk just nodded and said, "Yes, I have. You see, I put her down long ago, but I see you are still carrying her." It's a simple story that makes us realize that other people have all kinds of different things going on in their lives, but it's up to us to determine how we respond to them. We can carry those little indignities, those insults, those inconveniences and frustrations and miscommunications. We can carry them with us forward, or we can let them go, and we can tolerate the world and others in all their beauty. My name is Barry Stewart Mann. Thank you.
An open hand, a steady heart, and the will to say your truth is safe with me. Tolerance is being bold, not a quiet note of those who fear to disagree. Tolerance is resistance and revolution, and a promise to be seen. Tolerance is not as caduceus as we sometimes think, and in spite of all odds, it's something quite nice to feel. But there's a strike in the sky, and those words that get by and burst stumble to fly through ashes and sides, and it's a curse to our mind, if not a curse to life in general. Yet even so I dare to whisper into the void, as in a funeral, the light may still crack the dark, and we may yet find a voice. But it won't happen just by fortune. It must be a matter of choice. And maybe that's how peace begins, in trembling voices, fragile hymns, a patch of blue where thunder fades, a restless joy that gets the ground to shake. In a shared compassion, every difference softly, slightly dims. An open hand, a steady heart, and the will to say your truth is safe with me. And this garden of mine will bloom truly, endlessly free.
ኣብ መንገዲ ጉዕዞኻ ዘይትፈልጦ ሰብ እንተሪኢኻ ሕብሪ ቆርበቱ ከም ናትካ ዘይኮነ እቲ ዝዛረቦ ቋንቋ ዘይትፈልጦ እንተኾነ ሰላም በሎ ወዲ ሰብ እዩ ከማኻ ለዋህ ኩን ወፍየሉ ፍሽኽታኻ።
Sono sull'autobus, in una strada grande ma caotica e trafficata. A causa della massiccia presenza di altri veicoli, la strada è praticamente ferma. Stanca e annoiata da questo ritardo, sposto per un attimo lo sguardo alla mia destra. Sul marciapiede c'è una moltitudine di bambini allegri, festosi, è Halloween e tutti sono mascherati e truccati, bambini e genitori. Un bambino più degli altri attrae la mia attenzione. È vestito impeccabilmente da Dracula, truccato con estrema cura, ma non è difficile vedere che deve essere affetto da qualche grave patologia, infatti cammina malissimo, ha lo sguardo vuoto, ha una bocca particolare che probabilmente ne ha rallentato se non impedito lo sviluppo del linguaggio e ha un'espressione totalmente assente sul viso. Accompagnato dal padre che non lo lascia un istante, per un attimo intravedo una nonna intenta a cucire il più bell'abito che si sia mai visto e una mamma intenta a truccarlo con grandissima cura. Lo sguardo del padre però è stanco e rassegnato. Immagino velocemente visite mediche, ore di attesa, ore di terapie, in attesa che qualche luminare possa aprire una speranza, aprire una luce. Vorrei tanto dire a quel padre non che andrà tutto bene, semplicemente che andrà meglio e che la vita di suo figlio ha pari dignità della vita di qualunque altro bambino. Ma improvvisamente un gruppetto di ragazzine si avvicina festosa al piccolo Dracula e si vede che lo conoscono, lo salutano, gli battono il cinque, vanno a vedere quante caramelle ha ottenuto. Per un attimo sul viso del padre arriva un sorriso e mi sembra quasi che sorrida per la normalità con cui quelle ragazzine hanno salutato suo figlio e ci stanno chiacchierando. Ecco, la normalità, sì. La normalità in un giorno come Halloween, in cui si può andare insieme a fare dolcetto e scherzetto.
Lo මුළුතන්ගෙයි අපි හීන කලතමු අතිනතෙහි රිත්මයෙන් හඬට ගඟුලක් වෙමු මිරිස් කුඩු ඇබින්දේ කඩිසරෙන් බබලමු ගිනි පුපුරු ජීවයෙන් හද වෙහෙස ගන්වමු ඉරේ පැහැ රැඳුණු කහ වැවෙන සරු මිහිතලේ අගය සිහි කරන් ඉමු උණුසුමේ ඔසු බලේ ලුණු බිඳුව පාලමකි සියලු රස මුසු කළේ කිසිදු හදවතක් නැත රසෙන් එහෙ මෙහෙ කළේ අතීතේ කතා දුරුබිඳේ උරුවම් ඇසේ ගම්මිරිස් මිමිනිල්ල නිර්භීත බව දිසේ එකට එකමුතු වෙලා කැලැත්තෙන ගීරසේ එකිනෙකාගේ වෙනස්කම් සවිය දෙන යසේ ඉවසීම සැබෑ සංයෝගයේ මාවතේ ඔබ මෙමා එකිනෙකා මුසුවීම සිදුවෙතේ ගරුසරුව පිළිගැනුම උණුසුම් කලා ජීවිතේ පදම් වේ ආත්මය වැඩේ ගුණ හදවතේ
I look myself in the mirror. In my dark eyes I see fragment sharp images that bring me no comfort. So, I put on my uniform and I step outside, in search of a little wonder, in search of something strong enough to warm my heart and bring back the light. At the airport, here I work. A homeless man is asking for change. a passenger stop, offer him a cappuccino, and sit down to talk with him. Already, my heart feels a little warmer, and so does my gaze. As I walk, I notice 3 little girls playing on the gigant chessboard in the middle of the terminal. They're from different places, they skin different shadows, these words different languages, yet as I walk past, they seem to understand each other, much better than many adults do. And I look around, and I ask myself, what really makes us different if not that inside of us? Is skin color really that important? Maybe wonder, is simply us. A child helping another get back up after a fall. The beauty of people so completely different understanding one another. The brilliance of looking behind the surface. And that. The courage. It takes courage to see who alike we truly are. It takes courage to step down from the pedestal. And now, I am back home. I look at myself in the mirror again, and my eyes are full of wonder. Wonder at the beauty of humanity, in taking care of one another even when we're so very different.
One morning, I found myself sitting on a bench at the station. I felt like eating the sandwich I'd made the night before. Prosciutto crudo and the cream cheese, the kind that's like Philadelphia. A cheap-off brand, low calorie, I think. As I turned that thought over between my fingers, my eyes wandered. From the man with the paint splatter sneakers, to the girl in leggings and straightened hair, probably on her way to school, to the lady in the plum-colored cardigan sitting on the opposite platform. A chill autumn air was blowing, the kind that catches you off guard when you show up still wearing the short-sleeved shirt that was perfectly fine up until last Friday. The train was due in 3 minutes, but as far as I was concerned, it could be a little late. I was early. I mentally reviewed the day's to-do list. Work until 5:30, then stop by the library to pick up that book I'd reserved 2 weeks ago. Alright, groceries. That's also a thing. The sole of my foot could feel lazy vibrations coming from 100 meters away, while my right ear began to tingle with the familiar murmur of the tracks starting to chatter. If I lifted my gaze, I could just make out a faint shift of air, spinning the first dry leaves of the season along the rails. I pulled my light spring jacket tighter, grabbed hastily from the closet before leaving home, and smiled secretly at the little girl with brown curls who was waving chow chow at me. It was just a morning, nothing worth telling. And yet, I remember it. I remember it perfectly. A slow, gentle, enveloping sense of peace. Because maybe peace is an olive branch, or perhaps a procession in the largest square of all. But if I may, I'd say peace is the chance to sit and wait for the train. Far from hunger, far from explosions, far from screams, far from death. So far that the brand of some supermarket cream cheese can be the biggest concern of your 8:20 a.m. The chance to have nothing worth telling, except for one morning that was just a little colder than usual.
And Ein sehr mächtiger Mann wollte einen sehr weisen Mann auf die Probe stellen. Es gibt doch nur einen einzigen wahren Gott. Aber wir haben 3 Religionen, die denselben Gott haben. Das Judentum, das Christentum, den Islam. Welche dieser Religionen ist die wahre, die wirkliche, die wahrhaftige und einzige? Darauf, sagte der weise Mann, muss ich dir eine Geschichte erzählen. Da war einmal ein mächtiger, reicher Mann, der hatte einen Ring. Wunderschön war dieser Ring aus wertvollem Stein geschnitten. Und dieser Ring, hieß es, bringe allen, die ihn besitzen, Glück und Weisheit. So wurde denn der Ring immer in der Familie weitervererbt. Und es war Brauch, nur der liebste Sohn, der des Ringes wirklich würdig sei, sollte den Ring bekommen. So ging das nun viele Generationen. Aber einmal gab es dann einen Mann, der im Besitz des Ringes war, der hatte 3 Söhne. Und alle diese 3 Söhne waren ihm gleich wichtig und lieb und wert. Und er überlegte sich, wem von seinen Söhnen sollte er nun den Ring vererben. Er konnte sich nicht entscheiden. Alle waren ihm gleich wert. So beschloss der Mann nun, den Ring zu nehmen und zu einem Steinschneider zu bringen, und der sollte ihm 2 identische Ringe dazu anfertigen, so dass man sie nicht unterscheiden kann. Und als die Zeit soweit war, dass der Mann alt war und den Ring vererben sollte, da schenkte er jedem seiner Söhne heimlich einen dieser Ringe. Sie waren genau gleich, man konnte sie nicht unterscheiden. Als nun der Vater gestorben war, kamen die Brüder zusammen und jeder hatte nun den Ring und sagte, aber welches ist der echte Ring? Und sie wurden sich nicht einig und da gingen sie zum Richter und der besah sich die Ringe und sagte, jeder nehme seinen Ring, den er vom Vater bekommen hat, und behandle ihn, als sei es der einzige, der echte, der Wunderring. Und so war's. Aber ich glaube,
Questa storia è ispirata da un fatto realmente accaduto. C'era una volta una scuola, c'era una volta una classe e c'era una volta un insegnante. Una professoressa di quelle brave, di quelle buone. Una di quelle che credono fermamente nella possibilità di fare qualcosa di speciale con gli studenti. Ebbene, fu proprio lei a proporre alla scuola, al preside, di celebrare la giornata internazionale della tolleranza. E così con i ragazzi fecero varie attività, vari laboratori, esercizi, giochi. E insomma, l'ultima consegna era quella di scrivere un breve componimento sul tema in oggetto. E il momento clou della celebrazione capitò quando l'unico studente di origine straniera fu invitato a leggere il suo testo. Allora, il ragazzo si alzò dal banco, raggiunse la scena, la cattedra e lesse. Sapete, io fin da bambino, quando insomma mi trovavo a pochi giorni da una festa, sognavo di ricevere un regalo, sognavo che tutti quanti ricevessero dei regali, e soprattutto mia madre. Sognavo di vedere tornare mio padre e sognavo anche di vederlo accompagnato da suo fratello, mio zio, che è quello che mi fa ridere. E poi sognavo anche di vedere entrare in scena mio nonno e mia nonna, i genitori di mia madre, perché sono gli unici che mi sono rimasti, e poi tante altre cose. E così, insomma, in vista anche di questa festa, di questa giornata, io ho sognato. E ho sognato non di essere tollerato, anche soltanto sopportato o accettato, di essere salutato con il sorriso, anche solo da una persona, ma anche da più, ma se volete anche tutti. E ho sognato anche di venire abbracciato. Stavolta va bene anche una sola persona, però se anche gli altri si vogliono unire mi fa piacere. Ho sognato di essere ascoltato come adesso, e quindi questo è un sogno realizzato. E ho sognato anche di essere applaudito, dai, no, se vi va, poi insomma vedete voi. Perché se siamo qui anche per sognare di vivere in un mondo migliore, non ci conviene sperare di avere tutto ciò che è di bello, possiamo scambiarci tra noi.